people? Welcome to my double review for both Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness in honor of Star Trek Beyond coming out this Thursday night. So I'm going to review the original Star Trek first and then Star Trek Into Darkness in the order that they came out and the order that chronologically. So Star Trek, the first one, is a reboot of the original series, and it follows James T. Kirk as he goes aboard the Starship Enterprise and just sort of goes across the universe. There's a lot to explain in this movie. It's not a confusing movie where there's a lot going on at once, but there's a lot of stuff that's happening at once, but it's not confusing, it's well expressed. So it's hard to summarize, but that was basically the basic summary of it. And I'm just gonna say, I love this movie. I absolutely love it. I didn't realize how great it was, because when I was younger, I didn't like it as much. I actually preferred Into Darkness, which has changed now, but I absolutely love this movie. The CGI looks spectacular. I mean, like, today, it looks better than 90% of the stuff that comes out. The CGI is absolutely amazing, but they don't try to glorify it like the Star Wars prequels. They just show it, and it's part of the movie, and it's done so well. The beginning is very emotionally impactful. It sets up the story really well. It sets up the movie, and it sets up everything, and it gives the main character, Chris Pine's character, expectation. And that's what I really liked, is that his whole character had a lot of expectation. He had a lot of things going for him, but he didn't care about that, and that really sort of made his character likable. And another part that made his character likable was the acting. I really liked the acting from most everyone. Everyone did great, especially Simon Pegg and Chris Pine. They were both fantastic together, because Chris Pine is a completely different Captain Kirk from the original series. I've only seen two of the original series, which was Star Trek The Motion Picture and Star Trek The Wrath of Khan, but I can already tell that William Shatner's Captain Kirk is very different from this Captain Kirk, but they're both different in the best way possible. Another part I really liked about this movie is the cinematography. It's so well shot. The action scenes are really well shot. Everything is well shot. It's not, super high level. It's not Oscar-winning cinematography, but it's really good cinematography. The score, very, very well done score, and it's the type of score I'd listen to without the movie's assistance. I just listened to it when I was bored. And the pacing just goes, the movie just flies by, pun fully intended. The pacing is just, it's fantastic. It makes the movie so entertaining, and that's what I love most about this movie, is how entertaining it is. You can pop it in at any time, and you can have it as ambient noise in the background. You can put your full attention on it. It's such an entertaining movie, and it has a lot of confidence, too. And there's a lot of movies that suffer from a lack of confidence, but this movie doesn't at all. It comes off strong, and it's saying that this is like the big dog in town, because the movie just bursts with confidence. That's what I really loved. Now, I do have one huge, gigantic, glaring issue. The villain, I thought, was terrible. He had no motives. He was just sort of there to look creepy. I didn't think he was scary at all. He didn't frighten me, and I didn't feel like he was a villain. I just feel like he was a character that they needed to kill. He had such little screen time. That was really aggravating, because he was just an absolutely awful villain. But besides that, I really don't have an issue with this movie. I absolutely love it. Way better than I expected. This is probably in my top 100 of all time. I love this movie, so that's why I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Alright, on to the next one, which is Star Trek Into Darkness. Now, this one I own. I don't own the original Star Trek for some reason. I need to buy it soon. But Star Trek Into Darkness is a sequel to the original Star Trek, and it follows the USS Enterprise as they go into space and are targeted by the villain of the film, Khan, who is played by Benedict Cumberbatch. Now, Benedict Cumberbatch is one of my favorite actors. I think he is just multi-talented in everything he's in. The Imitation Game, another movie I own that I'd pull out if I didn't have Pops in front of the movies, he was fantastic in that. He is an amazing actor. In Sherlock, too. He is just amazing, and he's also amazing in this. He elevates the movie to a new level, where last movie I said that the villain was the biggest weakness. In this movie, it's the strongest positive. He's menacing. You feel the entire crew's, you feel that the entire crew is scared of him for good reason, because he's terrifying. And not to say that he wasn't the only one who did well. Like, again, all the acting is great from everyone. Chris Pine, yet again, does great as James T. Kirk. Again, very different from William Shatner, but still, just a great character. Also, this movie is very, very entertaining. Yet again, it's also a movie you can pop in anytime and enjoy and watch. Although, I do have to say, the entertainment is sort of messed with the pacing in the movie. And that's a big glaring issue, is that the pacing is not as smooth and not as solid as the original. It's sort of all over the place at times, and that really, really bugged me, because I think if the pacing was better, this Into Darkness would be hailed as a better movie than Star Trek. I used to like it more, and while my opinion has changed, I think that if the pacing was better Into Darkness, this could be known as an all-time great movie. But the pacing is really a huge issue with it. And also, like I said, the last one had a lot of confidence. This one doesn't have as much confidence, and that's because they're trying to go for more drama. And the drama did work well, but I think that they should have tried to have a bit more confidence, because the movie really doesn't have that. And I get that the whole crew is against all odds, but so were they in the last one, and they still survived, and they still had a lot of confidence in the movie. That's not to say that the movie is bad in any way, shape, or form. I still really, really like Into Darkness. The CGI, yet again, looks great. And the action, I gotta say, it's improved upon the first. The first one, the action didn't stand out to me. It was just there. It didn't have any big, super importance. But in this one, the action's really entertaining. It's really well shot, and it's really well done. And I also gotta say, there's a scene where James T. Kirk and Khan are flying in one direction towards a ship. They're going from one ship to another, and they're flying in spacesuits. That is an amazing scene. That's probably a 10 out of 10 scene for me, because that scene is absolutely fantastic. How it builds up everything. A great scene. I didn't realize that one guy going like this in a spacesuit could be so entertaining and so well done. But yeah, while I do think Into Darkness is a step down from the original, it's still a movie I love, so that's why I give it a 7.75 out of 10. Alright, ranking them, I have Star Trek and then Star Trek Into Darkness, and if I were to add the originals I've seen, I'd say that The Wrath of Khan is just a little bit below it, and then down here is Star Trek the Motion Picture. Alright, that concludes my Star Trek review. I'm excited to review Beyond on Friday. That's when I believe I'll be getting my review out. Maybe Thursday night, maybe. Emphasis on the maybe, probably not. But I'll try to get it out on Friday. Alright, that concludes my review. I am Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.